The 2019 season of the Australian Ultimate League would not be possible without the support of our league partners. Today's match is brought to you by the following team sponsors.
What would you say is your team's biggest strength this year, and how are you planning on capitalising on that?
Yeah, athleticism. So we're very athletic across the board, and we're really looking to hunt blocks and generate a lot of pressure to make teams give us a disc, and then try to play a kind of fast, aggressive offence to capitalise on those turns as well.
Do you have a goal for this upcoming game against Perth?
Well, I'd like to get a win. I didn't win any games last year. Other than that, just continue to generate pressure. They're a very fast team. They have a lot of big athletes and some big throwers, so we'll try to generate some pressure and make them throw some throws I don't really want to throw.
Perfect, thank you, good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, what was your initial reaction to playing 6v6 instead of 7v7?
Oh, well, I was very excited because we've got a great bunch of athletes here in Australia, and I think that we can really work those bigger spaces, and it makes for a really exciting game, so yeah.
And welcome to the 2019 AUL. My name is Max Stenstrom. I'm joined in the booth by Sarah Crossy, and we have the Perth Power going up against the Adelaide Dragons to get this one started.
Della puts it up. We're away.
It'll be Kylo to get things underway for the Perth Power as they look to get this match off to a good start.
Oh, great defense there.
This is Ryan. Working to find Gann. He has to work hard, marked by Lachlan McDonald. That'd be a great matchup all game long. And Kyle shoots deep early. He had both Ryan and Murray Young heading deep to throw a little fast and a little flat into this wind. We've got a slight breeze coming right to left on your screens.
It's up, Della's long. That's going to be as easy as you like.
And that's a much better shot going the other way. Lachlan Robertson from windy New Zealand shows how to manage these conditions well as he connects with Thomas Della. Adelaide go 1-0.
Oh, look, and that's exactly how you want to start a game. Tommy Della, he's come over with Ragaki from the Melbourne Flames from last season, and he liked that one. And with this new format that we've got, starting out on defense for a first set means that you've got that not once but twice in the match, which is a bit of a disadvantage. So they've just turned that completely into their advantage, Adelaide, taking that first point.
Each of these sets only 20 minutes long, doesn't leave a lot of room for error. You know, going down an early break like that could potentially be decisive for this set, and then have big implications on the results, the championship points, and eventually who we'll be seeing in the final later in the season. Jessup receives that pull, can't find Copland early. Eventually he moves up line.
He's just dropped it cold, looking up before he threw it, and Adelaide moved quickly.
You know, and maybe this is a function of a team like Perth that haven't spent a lot of time together, struggling to find chemistry.
Robertson to you!
And that's some chemistry. 2 returning Adelaide Dragons in Lachlan Robertson and Sally Yu.
They are looking good out of the gates. They've come here to play. It's the matchup of, you know, if you were going to be unkind, the 2 cellar dwellers from last season, finishing 5th and 6th in the 2018 league. So a big matchup for both of them, really. Some reputation on the line, something to prove.
Having said that, both of these rosters made a fair few changes from last year. They do, of course, have those veterans that have maintained that consistency, but both teams have added the kinds of players that really change how you play. So on Adelaide, the 2 Kiwis, really obvious examples of that, along with Kim Spragg, will add a lot of potency.
Very excited to see Diana Warman
The
on
number
the
1 draft pick.
line. And they're coming out with their defense, their offense coming out on defense to see if they can continue the role.
We've got both number 1 draft picks on the line this time. Aaron Neal for the men, Di Warman for the women, as well as Kim Spragg, the late pickup to replace the injured Lucy Della. Slightly different player in style, but probably adds a little bit of what this Adelaide Dragons needed in terms of decisive and
Just
incisive
popped off
role.
the hands of Murray Young. Perth struggling to get anything going. And Warman to Davis. And this is 3-0.
I think so far, Power just caught a little bit flat-footed. Bit shocked at the, I guess, the aggressive option taking out of the Dragons and the effectiveness of that.
Yeah, they've come out hard, Adelaide. And Perth, they look to be playing a horizontal structure. And maybe in the wind, it's just not. I mean, it's not a strong wind. It's coming from the end where Perth is starting on this point, but it's just enough of a zephyr to pop those little discs up. They really need to find some length in their offensive game.
It's a similar looking line to earlier. It'd be Jessup receiving once more. This time doesn't even look for Copland. Instead, throws to a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, that's not what you want. You get a bit of territory, but
Robertson slightly overthrowing Sarah Lee. Peter Ely fires one into Annie Jessup.
Oh, Robertson tries to make amends with a big bid, but Perth put it away. They're on the scoreboard. It's exactly what they wanted. I don't think in a 20-minute set you want to be going down 4-0.
Even 3-1's a big deficit to have to recover from. And now they're really playing a game against the clock, not just the Dragons, to bring this one back. So, got 13 minutes remaining, so still plenty of time, but all of that will be uphill for the Perth Power.
Well, we get to see our first look now at the Adelaide offense, and they do look like early on they're going to play pretty set O&D lines. I think we'll find Kim Spragg and Dinah Warman will be grounding that with Sean Davis in the handling department.
And that pull just sneaks in the sideline. Lovely pull. And Davis will have to take that from deep. Big swing to Warman. Over to Kelly, the late addition to replace the injured Brett Middleton. Neal in the centre. Flips it back to Spragg, who's been left unmarked. And now Mazurai finds her. As Perth transition into a match defence. Neal. Kelly through the middle. Warman's going deep, he'll shoot. But a little too far. As that throw going downwind just sails away and accelerates.
Look, it was a good look, and it was, as their coach emphasised with them early before the game, we want those discs to go goal side. Goal side offense is what she wanted, but just a little bit too far in front for Foreman. But I love that they've put her downfield already. I think she is so dangerous with her height and her big throws. I love that she's moving out of that position.
And it makes her extra difficult to guard, knowing that she's just as comfortable going deep, being a threat, as coming back under and throwing it.
Woman's got to go because Ryan has busted long, but she won't be needed.
Power get another one back as Murray Young finds Mazerai. Both teams looking to be aggressive early in this match.
Yeah, and again, that was the key message coming from Ragaki early on in the piece to her team. Timing, aggression, and decision making. That's what she wanted from them.
And they're clearly doing that. And now Perth, taking a leaf from their book, managed to string one together with a nicely timed deep cut from Mazerai, rewarded with a beautiful throw. Alex Shepherd set to pull here. He was last year's #1 draft pick, and last year did a lot of the heavy lifting for Perth behind the disc. And I think this year we're seeing him potentially be unleashed a little bit. Now that he's supported by a few more handlers, he's able to get downfield and do what he's best at, which is cut and catch goals.
Yeah, I like what they've picked up this year, Max. I like that they've added Eunice Chung. I like that they've added Carlo. They've got some serious speed and throwing ability at the backfield. And just as you said, it unleashes Shepherd, and he was sensational last season on the All-Australian team.
We've got Spragg connecting with Kelly. Speaking to Spragg before this game, she hasn't been playing a lot of Ultimate of late. Took a season off last year, but you can see she hasn't lost a step. She thinks about throwing one there.
Looks like they're transitioning to match.
Kelly puts that one onto the grass. Typically it's Copland, another one of those additions to Perth this year. He played for the Brisbane Breakers last year. Brings his services to the West Coast. Jessup finds McInnes, another ex-Brisbane Breaker. Fires the inside, but it's a little behind, and Aaron Neal plucks that one off. Kim Spragg has Sean Davis going deep. Shapes for the throw. Puts it back in the pocket. Lovely dynamic handler movement.
Kelly puts it up. Lovely little inside throw to Spragg. Oh.
Davis arcing blade. Courageous in this wind.
I love a good blade.
Norman looks for the inside shot to Neal. And maybe that slight miscommunication is a function of those two players never really having played together until this season.
Well, this is a big point in the scheme of things. 3-2. Perth score this and we've got a tied game.
Got a pick call. Ali Lim and Mandy Fung. As Ely breaks the mark with the backhand, finds Copland on his break side at midfield. And hand blocked!
Oh, Sean Davis!
Sticks out the right paw.
Oh, Copland thought Ali Lim, he thought he had her in acres of space, and Sean Davis said, "Not today, my friend." He's a short guy, but he just made a big play.
Yeah, it gives up 4 or 5 inches, I'd imagine, in reach to Copland, but does really well there, showing his agility. Catches the inside with Copland napping and fires deep.
It up to Kelly. It's going to sit, and he's got it.
Davis gets an assist to go with his goal from earlier.
Yeah, great point, Davis. He's definitely in that role as a reset player. With Neil, quite surprisingly, I think, spending quite a bit of time behind the disc at the moment. But Sean Davis just doing his job there, and some, getting that D. Great play.
And it's an interesting thing about Aaron Neal, and to some extent, Lachlan Robinson as well. Very versatile players. You know, Neal probably made his name downfield, making those big athletic plays that his frame allows, but especially in recent times, spent a bit more time behind the disc. And Adelaide feeling that that's where they need him to contribute to this team. They've got an army of cutters, maybe need a little bit more support in the throwing ranks.
And Tommy Della puts that one up. That's a nasty pull. And it's going to roll out the back.
Saw Kim Spragg getting pretty involved that last point. Adelaide doing a lot of small space handler movement. In contrast to their earlier play earlier in this match, which was really stand and deliver, big shots to long cuts.
Perth staying with their horizontal offense.
Big Kyle O in the centre. He was unavailable last year. I imagine he would have been on this roster if he'd been in the country. Mazurai shoots deep. He's got Gann and Ryan. But it's Lachlan McDonald who'll pluck that one down. Robertson fires straight back the other way. Here's Sally Yu. She's got wheels, we know, when she needs them.
Boom!
Robertson serves that one up on a platter.
Sign him up as a Uber Eats driver, because that delivery was sensational. Right into Sally Yu. She had a good 10 metres on Murray Young. Lovely put. I mean, this Adelaide team, they've got long puts. Warman, Spragg, Neal, just seen it from Robertson, Davis. They can put it long, and they look like they're not afraid to. It's a good start for them this game.
They're playing brilliantly out of the gate, and they've shown real versatility as well, and adaptability to what the defense requires of them and what the conditions are offering them. Just there, going downwind, Robertson weights his throw perfectly. They're up 5-2, so a really commanding position for this set. And you wonder at some point, does Perth, if not outwardly, at least internally say, okay, that's set one down, let's focus on the next one. Because there's always the opportunity to come back from a bad first set. If you can lock up the next two, you come away with those 3 championship points.
Yeah, worth reminding that you're essentially getting 1 championship point per set, and you get a bonus point for taking a match.
So Jessup gets things started again on the brick mark. We've seen her play that central handler role a lot for Perth. Copland in the supporting role. Jessup gets it back up line, and she'll fire to the end zone. Ash McInnes.
Oh, nicely done.
Another one of those Brisbane breakers that's come across to Perth this year. She gets herself on the board.
That's another nice steadier from Perth.
It's 5-3.
Annie Jessup, really useful in and around the disc. Getting herself free. Giving the option for her teammates.
Power keeping it within striking distance. But as the rules stand, if we hit time cap and there's a 2-point or more gap at that moment, game is immediately over. So they're not feeling comfortable right now.
Yeah, they've got it. They really need this point right now.
Adelaide has Kelly going deep. Aaron Neal doesn't hesitate. Why would you?
Wow.
6-3.
Yeah, it's the danger of going a zone. With 6 people on the field, there's not a lot of ground to cover. And Kelly found himself streaking with Murray Young, Ellie Murray Young, the sole defender at the back of the field. she's a very athletic, good player, but that's not a matchup that you want.
They came down in a bit of a containment zone, and you can't leave Mike Kelly in space at the back there.
No, I'm not sure the zone is really working for Perth. I'd like to see them go back to some match defence. But as you say, this could be we've let the set go. Let's see what we're going to experiment with for the other remaining 2 sets.
Yeah, do you think they're conserving their legs, feeling that zone, that containment style zone, demands a little bit less of them physically? And I guess this format being new to Ultimate, there's no conventional wisdom yet. People haven't figured out what's the optimal way to play it. How do you gameplay and strategize for it? It'll be a real case of feeling it out as they go. Shepherd upline to Lim. Looks for Copland, but a little wayward with the throw. Straight to Mike Kelly, in fact. Spragg may shoot early, she does. Neil.
Oh, Copland comes through. Takes care of business at the back end, but it was already over Neil's head.
A little floaty in these conditions. McInnes. Back to Jessup.
This is a fun contest to watch. Fong and Jessup. That's over the head drop from Lim.
Davison, Warman and Spragg.
They look like they've been playing together for years. Very nice use of the width of the field. Good movement from Spragg. And punches it into Fung.
Coast to coast and punches it in. They're 7-3 up. And just like that, set 1's in the books.
Set 1 championship point.
Adelaide in absolutely dominating fashion, up 7-3. I mean, there's not many people here that would have said a 6th place team from last year was going to come out in such dominating fashion and take this first set. The Dragons will take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see more of this match after this. Welcome back. It is the Perth Power and the Adelaide Dragons. Adelaide leading 1-0. They took the first one in really dominating fashion. And this will be a test of Perth's resilience to come back from this really commanding, pretty punishing loss of the first set.
Yeah, 2 very different approaches from the coaches at the break. Perth spent a lot of time talking about strategy and what they were going to do offensively to get back into this match. Adelaide, they pretty much took a seat, and Anna Ragaki led them through some controlled breathing exercises, get them refocused, and get them mentally prepared for the second set. We'll see how that pays off for both teams.
So, second set beginning as a mirror of the first. Adelaide will be on offense. They started the first set with a break. See if Perth can return that favour. Perth has been very disciplined so far in sharing game time around, just alternating their two lines on and off the field. Adelaide a little bit less systematic in their subbing approach. Which means potentially slightly less opportunities for chemistry between the players on the field.
Looks like from the outset that Perth are sticking with their zone. They've got Mazarai and Murray Young patrolling deep. It looks like they've got a 3 cut with Ryan in a puppy position on the mark, forcing to the sideline. Just don't know if it's the right strategy against this Adelaide team.
And also just playing that 6-on-6. There's always going to be a little bit more space on the field as Warman fires a shot that every textbook in the game will tell you is difficult and shouldn't be taken, and she makes it look easy. As Kelly flicks one into Neil.
Yeah, I think Perth need to strategically adjust on their defence, because this Adelaide team, their offence is clicking, and they're very experienced back there. Warman, she's got 24 years experience. She's been playing Ultimate longer than Michaela Dunmore, Sean Davis have been alive. She'll take a zone any day of the week.
Chew it up and spit it back out again.
I really think that, Perth need to adjust here.
And I mean, you'd think they'd back themselves athletically as one-on-one defenders.
Absolutely, they're a
really
young
put
team.
Adelaide
There's no one over the age of 30 on this team, which is just astounding, I'll say. But maybe it's the case of experience showing out a little bit.
Jessup doesn't have a lot opening up for her downfield.
Oh, Tommy Della!
Just gets a fingernail on it.
Oh,
Just a fingernail.
Just not much happening, and not a strong cut from Copeland either.
And Tom Della, I mean, he's just such a hustle player.
I love him. He was the excitement player, I think, of 2018.
Oh, he was.
And they punched that in.
Sarah Lee finds Lachlan McDonald. But you're right, I mean, he's obviously very capable, very skillful. But his real superpower, I think, is being that energy, that hustle.
Yes,
that
he's the
grit
Energizer Bunny. He'll bring a bit of hashtag something, that whatever the youth bring, that's what he's got. And he's just come off from last season. He came down with glandular fever. So this is really one of the first tournaments that we've seen him back at. Just a shame for him that he's not suiting up next to his sister Lucy Della, who was also picked on the Adelaide Dragons. And one of the big incentives for him to move from the Flames, unfortunately she has an injury that has forced her withdrawal, and is the reason that we see Kim Spragg on this team. But she's doing a pretty good job, Kim Spragg.
Adelaide have picked up a few late additions in response to injuries. Kim Spragg being just one of a few. Mandy Fung as well.
Alex Gann floats that up. Sally's in the region.
Ellie Murray Young not quite in.
Just outside.
Not a lot opening up downfield. Dumps to Gann. We'll look around to Murray Young. And Mazarai powers up line. The poach comes in. Someone's got to be open.
Bit of a tangle. There's not much happening. She's going to put it up. Dunmore's in there.
And she's too good.
Oh,
Simone Ryan.
That's a heartbreaker for Perth. They had some nice offensive movement. A really nice big throw from Gann to Murray Young. She did well to bring it down with you on her back. Just got to be centimetres outside the end zone. And they find themselves on defense again. Oh!
Monty Mazarai returns a favour to Tom Della. And gets the goal
well done,
as well.
Sir. Well done. Way to just pick your team back up and put them in this set.
I mean, one great defensive player deserves another. And to be fair, I think Mazerai may have just turned it up another notch.
Yeah, and Tommy Della walks over, gives him the high five. Yeah, well done. You had me there. I like that matchup too.
And that's the kind of play that makes me think Perth Power should be playing one-on-one coverage every single point.
Absolutely.
When you've got match defenders like Monty Mazerai in your lineup, I mean, you back yourself every time.
Yes, be interesting to see if Viv Ewan and Max Howden make the call. We'll see. At this point, they start on defence.
Spragg finds Warman, finds Neil. Mandy Fung goes long, and Mike Kelly streams across underneath. One lovely thing about 6-on-6 is it makes the cutting lanes really wide open.
Puts it out in front to Kelly, has a tumble, gets back up. Oh, Alex Shepherd!
Shepherd on his horse. No one picks it up.
Oh,
Shepherd's a little disappointed.
I'd be shattered.
McInnes gets things started again. Now Shepherd gets it. Ely's going to the end zone, and the throw does come.
Shepherd to Ely. We saw that a lot last season. Just too far in front. He puts up his hand. Sorry, mate.
Too much edge on that throw to have it sit up for Ely. It's really not much of a breeze, but maybe what you'd call a thrower's wind. The really great throwers would use it.
We've got a big height mismatch here.
Neil marked by Lynn.
Neil.
Probably foot and a half maybe.
And he's content to just sit in the backfield. Oh, Sean Davis streaming long. Oh my goodness, they're just showing their versatility on offense. That is a great throw, Aaron Neal, and Sean Davis has just snuck into the backfield. You know, coming into this tournament, I was concerned for Adelaide. Looking down their role list, there was a lot of utility players, a lot of could play offense, defense, and I thought, are they missing those? Are they missing those foundational offense players that can just ground a team? But they're showing it doesn't matter where they are on the field. Any one of them can put it long. Any one of them can go and catch it in the end zone, and that makes them so dangerous.
And credit to Anuragaki and Johnny Warren White, because there are plenty of teams out there with that kind of formula, a whole bunch of utilities. And I think more often than not, they struggle to turn that into something that is useful. And they do struggle and fall down because they don't have those foundational players. But this team is just making it work beautifully. Credit to the coaches for making that happen. Carlo with the lefty.
Carlo puts it up. He's looking for Simone Ryan. It's gone over her head. That is a great catch. That is so difficult. I can't emphasize how difficult it is when you've got a disc coming right over your head to get your bearings, to get up. You've got Dunmore and Della bearing down on you. Well done, Simone Ryan. That's a big time take.
And they keep things close in this second set. It's 2 apiece. Perth doing a better job of both putting goals on the board and also putting a bit more pressure on Adelaide's offense. At least making them look to their plan B and see a couple of times a point.
Yeah, Simone Ryan, she was a pick in the number 9 draft pick for the Perth Power. In Sydney at the moment, but from Perth originally, so it's nice for her to be playing back in her hometown.
It may be surprising to see her drop down that far to 9. I mean, I saw a bit of rogue play in Nationals, And she was a really dominating player for them on the field in that downfield end zone space. Really difficult to match up on.
Yeah, I can tell you from personal experience, she's a horrific player to have on you offensively or defensively when she's on.
And it looks like she may well just be on right now.
They certainly needed to be, but let's see. Di Warman getting into those beautiful attacking handler positions. Sean Davis acts as the reset, swings it around beautifully to Mike Kelly.
Back to Sprague. Neil and Warman.
Oh, it was just
A little bit of confusion there, cutting into the same space.
It's really the first we've seen on it. It goes up. Di Warman, she's got the height, she's got the read. She picks it up to get it moving quickly.
And geez, what a player she is.
Don't get me started talking about Di Warman. I could go for hours.
She was dominating the world scene 15 years ago, and she's still dominating in this format right now. Aaron Neal, crossfield.
Oh,
Sean
beautiful
Davis
hammer.
Opens up the field. He's got Mandy Fung through the guts.
A lovely inside throw.
And it's now 4-2.
Yeah, Dinah Woman was the
3-2.
Fire Towers captain in 2008 and on a team that I played on, and I have to say she's one of the best leaders in the game. She leads from the front. She has a commanding presence on the field. Back in the day, she was our primary wing, as we used to call it in the old days,
Yes.
and she was unstoppable. Dinah Woman to Lauren Brown was a thing of beauty to watch. Two giants of the game. She is so dangerous from that midfield, which I'm really happy to see her getting out of that backfield and down into that middle field where she is so dangerous because of the depth and the range of her throws.
And there's not many players like that with that kind of versatility, as you say, and that depth of throwing, while
Eunice
still
Chung.
being such a competent cutter.
Talk about depth of throwing.
Alex Gann to Kyle O.
Punts it up. Oh, Della taking care of business. Oh, they just pushed that a bit. They're just finding it hard to get their rhythm, Perth. And I thought last year it was one of their strengths. They really seemed to click offensively, but just not be able to consistently do so.
Tom Della, the border collie of this Adelaide team, just does not stop running. Rewards himself with another nice block there. Perth putting a lot of pressure on Adelaide's offense now. And this is the kind of pressure.
Oh, Simone Ryan!
There you go. That gets rewarded.
Well, she's on. We talked about it. She's on. She's going to score the goal. Well, she's certainly doing her bit. Simone Ryan. So dangerous. So athletic for her height. She has a background in athletics. And you can tell when you're being run around.
When she gets up to pace, not many that can keep up with her. That's some great defense to generate a short field opportunity for Perth. And they're ruthless at putting it in. A much stronger second set from Perth Power. And the first set, I won't say halftime, the first breaks chat from Max Howden and Viv Ewan clearly hit the spot.
Oh, just overcooks that.
Inside to Healy. McInnes coming under. Shep. Jessup. But she's not unleashed.
Forcing the middle here, Adelaide.
And it's when they transition that force that Ely is left alone on the open side of the field. And Can't do that for very long without him punishing you, as he does there. Perth get 2 in a row.
Well, 4-all. We're tied in the bottom of the second.
It's 4 minutes to go. This one, very important for Perth to keep this,
Keep it alive.
to keep that bonus point in contention.
Now, if we get to the end of 4 minutes and neither team is up by 2, we'll have some variations that we may talk about when that happens. But it won't just be a stoppage of play like it was in the first set.
Hey, can we make it backhand?
Sprague bringing it back up.
The late audible call going back to backhand for Perth. Interesting option against Kim Sprague. Very powerful
Yes.
backhand thrower.
Same with Dinah Warman.
Nothing coming downfield. That's that lovely forehand around break. Davis also has a big backhand. Kelly, Warman, Fung, deep, the little stutter step. Maybe enough to put Chung off, and it is.
Wow, that's what I'm talking about. Backhand power from Di Warman. I mean, she's been marked by Eunice Chung, Mandy Fung. Chung is super quick. She has lightning fast acceleration. She was within about 6 meters of it, would you say? And she didn't have a shot at that on defense. That is just a beautiful throw. Straight onto the chest. Well, they've answered the call. It's come back to evens and they've got themselves back in front, the Dragons.
They have. And with just a couple of minutes left, Perth have to stay clinical. They can't let that lead develop. And in what is almost a throwback to last year's Perth Power, to be Alex Shepherd receiving the pull.
Nice inside break.
Thinks about firing to Ely, but doesn't. Ely marked by Lachlan McDonald. 2 dingoes going.
Annie Jessup, nice cut from the back of the stack. Fires it to Ellie Lim. Dunball sees it. Puts her body on the line. Gets a huge D.
Yu was prowling there as well.
Yes, neither of those two ladies have a scant regard for their bodies.
Yeah, scary prospect to be heading to the end zone 2-on-1 against those 2 defenders. There wouldn't be many that disagree with you if you said they were the 2 most athletic defenders in the women's game right now. Sarah Lee have to get things moving. Finds you in the centre. Crossfield to Della. He has McDonald very deep. Comes midfield to Dunwell for a big gainer. She's going to have to
shoot it, but she's got 2 very good options going. Leave McDonald.
And that is a crucially timed goal. Seconds away from full time, and it's now 6-4 to Adelaide.
Yeah, and if that time goes now, that is the second set done and dusted. So Perth really need to score and score quickly.
Yeah, they'll be drawing up a 1 or 2 pass offensive pool play here. And that's...
And time cap's called.
So they will get 1 throw. I believe they'll have 1 throw here, but even so, I don't think it will matter.
Here it goes.
Even if Kyle Ollo makes it interesting, Michael McDonald would swat it away. And Adelaide hold on in a much closer second set. to lock up the bonus point.
Yeah, look, they've taken the match in 2 sets, but we will be playing a third.
Don't go anywhere as we come back to bring the third set. Perth Power and the Adelaide Dragons from the Australian Ultimate League. And welcome back to set 3 of the Australian Ultimate League between the Perth Power and the Adelaide Dragons. It's 2-0 Adelaide Dragons. Not the scoreline many would have been picking coming into this, but the battle of the cellar dwellers is one to watch today.
Yeah, fascinating. I'm not sure how many people would have picked this result. I think Perth have a bit of a zip about them. They're a young team, they're fast. They've got, I think, the exact right coaches to work into their groove, and they just haven't got there in this game.
And I was chatting to their coaches in that break, and we were commenting on how some of their players are playing. And Jonathan Moran-White was saying, you know, a lot of people doubted their draft picks, particularly the Kiwi boys, Lachlan Robertson and Aaron Neal, who have just been so effective this game. And he's saying people just don't understand what they haven't seen before, but they're clearly showing their strength here. Peter
Oh, Eddie Jessup reaches up to the sky, pulls it down. That's how they want to start. That's exactly how they want to start this third set.
It's the first set that they've opened with a goal.
Well, and you might as well just lay it out on the line now. No risk, no reward. See if you can get something going.
Well, they're playing with house money at this point, and it's really crucial that they capitalise on that. Get themselves a championship point. Play the numbers game. Keep their focus long term on setting themselves up for a spot in the finals.
And look, there was no strategic talk whatsoever. That sounds cruel, coming out of the Perth camp at the break, but it was really about playing for each other, playing as a team. What can we get out of this last set, rather than fine-tuning any strategic or defensive strategy.
And I guess one of the challenges of this format, where the teams don't spend a lot of time together before the competition, is that there isn't much time to develop sophisticated team tactics, plays, sets, systems, etc.
Oh, Sean Davis unfortunately doesn't bring that down. Opens the door again for Perth. Carlo controlling from the back, which I think is what he really needs to do. Again, down the line to Mazurai.
Ryan puts that one to ground.
Yeah, just a dipping throw there. Just one too many gems down the sideline. And Neil's pretty much, well, he's playing straight off. They're off, they're away. I like this setup of Warman in that middle of the field. Oh, she shoots one and just past Kelly. Oh, it's drop a minute.
Not a lot of clean catches or clean offense right now early in this third set.
So frustrating as a coach to see drops like that.
Oh, and Spragg unleashes a floater of a backhand
Puts the head
Davis.
down, she can't watch, but it comes off. And Neil's going to just pump that out to Davis. Gee, he's got some real, there's a lot of rotation on Neil's discs. They just zip, which if this wind picks up is going to be very handy. We're talking about people doubting the New Zealand imports. Well, there's no doubt that New Zealanders have some pretty good throws in the wind there. That's their bread and butter.
And I mean, really, we've got the pick of the New Zealand crop here in this match. Aaron Neal, the 2012 New Zealand men's captain. Lachlan Robertson, the 2016 New Zealand men's captain. I mean, these guys showing why they're the big names across the ditch, and why very rapidly, after watching this game, I imagine there'll be big names this side of it as well.
Della puts it up.
Ali Lim. Copland underneath. He's got Jessup going deep. Billy shoots down, and Tommy Della!
And you just make sure at the end.
That's his third block for this match.
Oh, Tommy Della. That's exactly why Ragaki hunted him, to bring him over with her. Copland tries to return the favour, and Della just punts that to a contest.
Robertson and
It's
Shepherd!
entertaining, but it's not a good option. If you're throwing it to Shepherd's opponent, you want them to have a lot of space on him.
Robertson's no slouch for speed, but Alex Shepherd really is next level pace.
Up it goes.
Copland looking for Ely, Robertson, McDonald and Yu. And it's Sally Yu behind. Gets the touch. Ely and McDonald going very early, neither able to come down with it.
Sarah Lee with the disc.
McDonald, McDunmore and Akers.
Too much space, maybe.
McDonald didn't want the stack. Yu on this near side. Robertson.
Yeah, they've lost a little bit of structure here, Adelaide.
Break backhand, Tom Della leaves his feet. McDonald heading to the end zone. Thinks about fat side. Instead, finds Yu in the centre. Yu is someone we often think of as a defensive specialist, but doing a lot of offensive work this point. And Tom Della, who else?
Wow, he deserved that. What a point. He gives a little disc spike. I think that is just a little entree to some of the celebrations. Some of the muted celebrations with him so far that we surely have to break out soon. Della can't hold that down.
3 big blocks and a goal now to his name. And Tom Della has shown up to play today. His time off clearly hasn't slowed him down 1 inch. Maybe just means that he's well rested.
Yeah, and these sets, I mean, they're intense while you're on, but 2 5-minute breaks, that's a good break into suck in the oxygen, rest the legs, and reset your mind. And Dragons are doing that exceptionally well.
Yeah, they almost turn into 3 sprints rather than what can sometimes feel like the marathon grind of a full match to 15. Chung to Ode. He shapes for the big. Instead goes to Gan, marked by Fung.
And
Murray Young.
Ellie. Oh, is gone.
Aaron Neal, though, he isn't.
Yeah, that disc needed to get there a lot quicker than it did. Too much arc and too high.
Kylo, one of the biggest vertical jumps around, but he's given up 3 or 4 inches to Aaron Neal. It's a big task. Spragg a little too casual on that catch. Murray Young won't make the same mistake twice.
Again for the score. Interesting mindset for a team like Adelaide when you're 2-0 up. How much energy and resources do you put into a game that is already in the bag? There is that alluring championship point on offer, but just mentally you just wonder whether the intensity just drops off a little bit.
And that's where it comes down to the coaches to make that that mental switch for the players. And there's none better at that. You spoke about it earlier than Anna Rigaki. Plucking the mental strings of your players, if you will. She's a musician, and these players are her instruments. And today it has been a symphony of Adelaide. Davis finds Neil on this near side. Mandy Fung through the centre. She's been providing that midfield drive, that continuation cut a lot for this Adelaide team.
Yes. I just think they've worked really well together. They've got roles, but they're not sticking to them, which makes it very hard defensively. They're all able to reset. They're all able to put it long. Everyone's a threat deep.
Speaking of, Aaron Neal goes long. Kim Spragg shorts the throw a little. And maybe we've seen a couple of throwaways from Spragg now. Possibly a little rusty on the throwing end of things after her time away from the game. Not quite as sharp as we've seen in the past. Shepherd centres to McInnes. She'll dump to Lim. Jessup streaming across the front, can't get open. Shepherd has to work hard. But Perth showing some patience. Copland sucks 2 in as he goes open side. Shepherd can't get the break out to Illy despite finding space to get it to.
This is great patience from Perth. Breaks it to Copland on the line. Oh, that last pass into the end zone can often be the hardest, but in this case, Copland just pops it into Lim.
And that is some lovely patience from Perth Power. Maybe not something we've seen a lot of them from them this match.
Yeah, and you love that as a coach. That's what you really want to amp your players up. Right at the beginning of this game, talking to Max Howden about what he was saying to his players, he said it's all about the 1%ers. All about the 1%ers and execution, and you feel like they've missed the mark this game, Perth, but they're looking to make amends in this set, and that point right there, that's executing.
And I think over the course of this match, we've seen them develop that recipe for success a little bit more and find it. As you say, late in this match, they're playing some really nice looking offense. Their match defense has certainly shown up later in this match as well. A couple of big blocks.
Really would have liked to see that change in defensive structure, although it looks like they've gone back to a zone, a bit hard to see.
Does look like it. Slightly different look from earlier.
Hannah was just boasting about getting back really quick before, I thought. Interesting.
Got Simone Ryan on Lachlan Robertson.
This is the old, I was standing there, you pivoted into me, were you really stationary? It's always a hard one.
And it's a conversation as old as Ultimate itself. And it's not one that we're likely to ever get rid of. I think it ends in the way that most of them do, which is an uncontested foul.
I think it's contested, coming on 2.
Oh, there you go.
Lots of pressure here in Sarah Lee.
Finds Robertson. Rifles out a forehand. Lachlan McDonald. He will get there. No, he won't. But Tom Della almost gets one. He's been having a few sniffs. Alex Gann, Monty Mazarai play catch up this near side. Oh. Chung has Gann across the front. Perth get another one.
Gee, Chung's been quiet this match, really, by her standards. I think she's one of the fastest and best handlers going around at the moment in the women's game. And Adelaide have done a very good job at neutralising her impact to date, but she gets one in there to take it to 4-2.
Perth.
To Perth.
They have shown up in this third set. Maybe it is a case of Adelaide taking the foot off the gas a little now that they've got their 3 championship points locked up and the bragging rights for this match. But Perth keeping their dignity in some ways, avoiding the trouncing of a 3-0 loss. Alex Shepherd with the ball. Recent years he's played a lot of offense and hasn't had the pulling opportunities.
Oh,
and Timothy's got one on the first pass. Huge bid.
Huge D.
Give his team the disc on the goal line. Ely at the front of stack. You'll imagine he's the first look. He immediately goes break side back to open Jinx again.
He's got a wide open Jessup. He resets.
Nothing coming out of the stack. Lim goes up line
Oh.
and jumps it in.
Jumps it in, well done.
Perth 5-2 now. Maybe looking to repay them the favour of that one-sided first set that ended 7-3. Certainly heading in the right direction.
Yeah, they're happy about it. That's good to see. The AUL this year cruelly, I think, have taken away from us one of the greatest commentators' calls. It's a game of 2 halves. But it's often a game of 2 halves, isn't it, Max? Because, you know, when you've got momentum riding, the last thing you want as the team that's up is for that half-time to come, because it gives that reset opportunity for that team down in the doldrums. And that's what Perth have been able to do, finally, in this third set, is to stop that momentum, is to refocus.
Well, in many ways, it's 50% better, because this is a game of 3 sets. And it'll be Di Walker that has to lead the offense once more for Adelaide. Back upfield. But, I mean, you're right, it's a very different format for the commentators, but also for the players and for the coaches. And a lot of the conventional wisdom and tactics and strategies that you think about putting in place, and that veterans do almost subconsciously in that 2-half match that we're more used to, probably doesn't apply here. Maybe, you know, we'll see times where some of the younger players adapt better to this 3-set format than the older players who maybe are a little more stuck in their ways.
Gee, Mike Kelly's done a great role. He's been a late call-up to this Adelaide Dragons team. A big injury with Brett Middleton, and he's just getting into the right places.
blinders on Chile this year and was recently picked on the Barramundis to play in Shanghai.
There it
And
goes.
gets himself another goal there.
Yeah, very impressive.
You can see why. I mean, he's that really reliable, consistent cutter with a range of useful throws to continue the offensive flow, but the right decision-making options. You know, you don't see him getting a rush of blood to the head and launching a speculative shot down the field. That's just not his style.
That's a great thing about the AUL. It gives a platform for some players that you may not have heard of or may not have seen much of, particularly if you are playing or following one gender. So it's great to see a range of players, especially the young guys, the up-and-comers into the Australian teams, getting this great platform to play and for a big audience to appreciate their skill set.
Yeah.
It's come off Shepherd, but he's dragged it back in. Fires it off to Ely.
Shepherd blind has Lim going deep.
Jessup's going to go too.
Defenders everywhere. And Jessup, does she toe the back foot in? And in she does.
Got a goal. Well done, Nanny Jessup.
Perth leads 6-3. Thought that throw was a little far out in front.
Yeah, not gone for all money, but Annie Jessup good enough and the wind kind enough just to sit it up. Sit up on a plate.
So they're in that 6-3 position where when time cap goes, as it does, as it will shortly, there'll be one further throw, and then the game will be over. So Adelaide have to recover. Fair ways to keep this match alive. Kelly, Neil, Fulham going deep, back to Kelly, I'll be leading backhand.
That is time cap.
Just as we get a pit call as well, so they will all have a moment to
One more
calibrate
shot.
and think about it.
Kelly winds it up, he puts plenty of bank on it. Oh, who's he money on?
Oh, Neil! He comes across the ditch, he flew it on a plane and I don't think he's landed yet. Comes down with that one. To finish that one with an exclamation mark.
Like a good old game of 500. Up it goes. Aaron Neal brings it down.
Perth will finish taking that set 6-4.
And a well-deserved set. They really stepped it up in that third set. But what a performance by Adelaide. Those first two sets, their offense was solid, and their defense, when it needed to be, was exceptional.
It's been a great match from the Australian Ultimate League here at the AUL Stadium. My name's Max Denstrom. I've been joined by Sarah Crossy. Thanks for joining us.